Hi, this is the English man of EB English Music, and welcome to another Studio Talk vlog. In the previous video, we went through the process of how I went from my old sound card through a different audio interface to eventually ending up with the Focusrite SCARLETT 2i4. And I went through some of the external features that's on the Focusrite SCARLETT, and today we're actually going to be focusing on hooking up this baby so that we can hear what it sounds like. But before we get into that, just a side note, something that I picked up. I'm not an electrical expert by any means, but I just thought that this information could be helpful because it happened to me, and it could happen to you if you're in a similar situation. Before my old sound interface, or audio interface rather, gave in, it started giving this ticking or clicking noise, like a t, t, t. And it was intermittent at first, and then it got worse over time. And when I did some research on this, it sounded like, with most of the chats and forums about audio interfaces, it looked like that was the beginning of the end for the audio interface. And I thought, okay, if I just get a new audio interface, everything will be okay. When I got the temporary audio interface that I spoke about in the last episode, the PreSonus, the same started happening again after a while. Initially it was fine, and then it started doing the same problem. And then I thought, oh my goodness, this is a temporary interface that I'm borrowing from a friend of mine, and now the same thing is happening. Please don't tell me that I'm breaking his audio interface as well. But it turns out that it actually had nothing to do with the audio interface. After a process of trial and error and a process of elimination using different cables and all of that, I actually eventually found out that it didn't have anything to do with any of my audio equipment. It had to do with the electrical system. And then I thought maybe something needed to be checked out at the main electrical box leading to the studio, and it also had nothing to do with that. And then I remember actually hearing the same noise close to the power source of the electrical fence that I have around the property. And it turns out that that was the issue. So if you are operating on a property or in a complex where there is an electrical fence, then chances are, if there's interference on the electrical fence, it could cause problems in your electrical system at home, and that it could also affect your audio system or your studio setup as well. But back to what we need to get to today, which is hooking up the SCARLETT 2i4. The first step that you need to do is to visit their website, www.focusrite.com/register. Why you need to do this is because you need to register the product. And remember, as I said in the previous video, a disk is not included with the software drivers that you need to operate the audio interface, and it's also not just plug and play. You need to download the drivers from the website. So visit the website, focusrite.com/register. When you get the form where you need to fill in all your details, you will also need to include the product bundle code that's included with the starting guide or the get started guide that you get with the audio interface. Once you've entered all that information, you will be able to download the drivers that you need for your particular operating system, whether you're using Windows or whether you are on Mac. You need to download the relevant drivers for your operating system. Also, by registering your product, you also have access to the Excite Plus bundle, software bundle, and also Ableton Live Lite. From this point, what you need to do is obviously install the drivers onto your computer system, and then the next step for you would be to connect all the other peripheral audio equipment to the audio interface. In my case, all I needed to connect was the studio monitors because, as I mentioned also previously, my MIDI keyboard hooks up directly to my computer via a USB cable. Once you've connected all the peripheral pieces of equipment of your studio, what you then need to do is plug in the USB cable from your audio interface into your computer. Then from there, a very important thing to remember is to not switch on your studio monitor speakers before the interface is powered on. The interface has to be powered on first, and then you need to switch on your studio monitors. Otherwise, if you do that while the speakers are plugged in, it could cause a horrible pop or click sound, and that could possibly damage your studio speakers. From there, all you need to do is select in your computer preferences, audio preferences, as well as the audio preferences of the digital audio workstation, or DAW as they call it, or software program, audio software program. In those preferences, you need to select the SCARLETT to be your preferred audio device for playback and recording, and then you're good to go. And then your Focusrite SCARLETT 2i4 is hooked up. If you like this video, if it's been helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next Studio Talk vlog.
Ooh, bet the English man.